have variables in here. Let's look at the number first. Can I divide the 15 and the 25 by the same thing? What? 5. Okay. So that's the first thing I'm going to do. What I do to the top, I have to do to the bottom. So I have 15 divided by 5 is 3. 25 divided by 5 is 5. Okay, I've taken care of those. Then I look at the variables. A squared is A times B. This is A times A times A times B times B, if you want to do it this way. Okay, and then I'm marking out, because A over A is 1. A over A is 1. B over B is 1. So I'm left with, there's no variables on the top, and on the bottom I have an A and a B. Now, the other way to do this is to go, I'm going to look at my A's and I'm going to subtract. 3 minus 2 is 1. The larger exponent is on the bottom, so I have A to the first power on the bottom. 2 minus 1 is 1. The larger exponent is on the bottom, so I have B to the first power on the bottom. Okay, you remember doing all that? All right, do this one, okay, real quick, so that you're still awake. Those are all pretty simple. Find one that's harder. It's not very hard, but let's do it anyway. All right, reduce that. Got it? Okay, what'd you divide the 15 and the 18 by? 3. So you got, so you divided by 3, you got 5 over 6, and then what about the variable?
Yeah, 1 exit 1.
Good, perfect, perfect. Okay, then we moved to section 4-6, and we were multiplying and dividing monomials, and we just kind of did that. The base number has got to be the same to be able to do this little rule here? What's the answer to that? Do you remember?
Eight,
A to the ninth. If the base number is the same, I just add my exponents. And I can do it if the number, if the base is a number. So if I have 3 squared times 3 to the third, what do I have? 3 to the 5th power. Okay? So it works with it works if the base is a number or the base is a variable. Okay? Then we also, and we just talked about it, okay, if I have division, what's the answer to that? 2 to the 2nd power. Remember, subtract your exponents and then place it where the largest exponent is. Okay, we just talked about that in that last section. So remember, with multiplication, you add the exponents, and with division, you subtract the exponents. Okay? Then we moved into a negative exponent section. So if I have x to the negative 2nd power, how do I get rid of that negative exponent? I switch the places. This, if you will, is on the top. So to get rid of it, I put it on the bottom. If it's on the bottom, then to get rid of it, I put it on the top. Okay, that's really all there is to it. The negative tells you to move its locations. Okay? And that brought us into the scientific notation stuff that we just did for homework. So if I have 2.14 times 10 to the negative 5th power, that's in scientific notation. How do I write it in standard form? Am I going to make it smaller or larger? Smaller, because it's got a negative 5. So I want to move the decimal 5 places to the left. So I do 1 wave, 2, 3, 4, 5, put a decimal, and then add zeros. Okay? If, however, I had 2.14 times 10 to the positive 5th power, then what would I do? I move it the other way because I want to make that number bigger. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I get that. Now, taking a number and writing it into scientific notation means that I have to write it as a number between 1 and 10 and a factor of 10, if you will. So if I have 2,000 or 2,147,000, and I go, I want to make that into scientific notation. That's a big number. So I know it's going to be a positive exponent. Where am I going to need to put the decimal? It's got to go right there to make it a number between 1 and 10. So 2.147 times 10 to the, it always starts out behind it if I don't see it. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So 10 to the 6th power. If I have a small number, then I know my exponent is going to be negative. Where do I want that exponent to move to? Between the 3 and the 1 to make it a number between 1 and 10. So I move it 1, 2, 3, 4 places. So this is times 10 to the negative 4th power. Okay? All right, I'm going to go ahead and give you your homework to start on. Okay, this is all review homework, and then once we go over it tomorrow, then you'll take your test, okay? So on page, and you will probably finish it today. Okay, page 191 through 194. I want you to do, let's do 10 through 64 even. And that would be for Walker as well.